It is your best work, Basil, the best thing you have ever done.
I know you will laugh at me, but I really can't exhibit it. I have put too much of myself into it. Your rank and wealth, Harry, my brains, such as they are, my art, whatever it may be worth, Dorian Gray's good looks, we shall all suffer for what the gods have given us. Suffer terribly.
Dorian Gray? Is that his name?
Harry, I went to finish this picture today. Would it be awfully rude of me if I asked you to go away?
Am I to go, Mr. Gray?
Please don't go, Lord Henry. I see that Basil's in one of his sulky moods, and I can't bear him when he sulks.
You don't really mind, do you, Basil? You have often told me that you like your sitters to have someone to chat to.
If Dorian wishes it, you must stay. Dorian's whims are laws to everybody, except himself.
You are very pressing, Basil, but I must go.
Basil, if Lord Henry goes, then I shall go too. Ask him to stay. I insist upon it.
Stay, Henry, to oblige Dorian and to oblige me. And now, Dorian, get on that platform over there, and don't move about too much. Or pay attention to what Lord Henry says. He's a very bad influence all over his friends, with the single exception of myself.
Have you really a bad influence, Lord Henry? As bad as Basil says?
There is no such thing as a good influence, Mr. Gray. All influence is immoral. Immoral from the scientific point of view.
Why?
Because to influence a person is to give him one's own soul.
Stop. You bewilder me. Let me try to think. Or, rather, try not to think. Basil, I must go out and sit in the garden. The air in here is stifling.
I'm so sorry, but when I'm painting, I can't think of anything else. I have caught the exact effect that I wanted. The half-parted lips, the sparkling eyes. I don't know what Harry has said to you, but he has certainly made sure you have a wonderful face. Just don't listen to anything he says.
I don't believe everything he has told me.
You know, you believe it all. I will go out into the garden with you.
I've got to work on this background, so I'll join you later on. Don't keep Dorian too long. This is going to be a masterpiece.
You are quite right to do that, Mr. Gray. Nothing cures the senses but the soul, and nothing cures the soul but the senses. Let us go sit in the shade. You must not allow yourself to become sunburned. It would be very unbecoming.
What can it matter?
It should matter everything to you, Mr. Gray.
Why?
Because you have the most marvelous youth, and youth is the one thing worth having.
I don't feel that, Lord Henry.
No, you don't feel it now. But one day, when you're wrinkled and ugly and old, there is such little time, and you will feel it terribly.
I'm waiting for you to come back in. The lighting is just perfect. It is quite finished. Don't you like it?
How horrible. I should grow old and ugly and dreadful. But this portrait will never be any older than this particular day of June. Oh, if it were only the other way. If it was I who was to stay forever young, and the painting that was to grow old. For that I would give everything. I would give my soul for that.
You're not jealous of material things, are you, Dorian?
I'm jealous of everything whose beauty does not die. Why should this painting keep what I must lose? It's not fair. I wish now that you never painted it.
This is your doing, Harry.
It is the real Dorian Gray, is all.
You should have gone away when I asked you to.
I stayed when you asked me.
Harry, I can't quarrel with two best friends at once, but between both of you, you have made me hate the finest piece of work I have ever done, and I will destroy it. What is it but canvas and color? I will not let it come across 3 lives and mar them.
Don't, Basil, don't! It would be murder!
I'm glad you appreciate my work, Dorian.
Appreciate it? I'm in love with it, Basil. It is a part of myself. I feel that.
Well, as soon as you are dry, you shall be framed and sent home. You love tea, of course, Dorian? And so will you, Harry. Or do you object to such simple pleasures?
I adore simple pleasures, but I don't like scenes, except on the stage. What absurd fellows you are! I wonder who defined a man as a rational animal. It was the most premature definition ever given. Let us go to the theater tonight.
It is such a pain to put on the dress clothes, and then once they're on, they're such a bore.
Yes, the costume of the 19th century is such a bore. Sin is the only real element of life.
You must really not say things like that before Dorian, Harry.
Before which Dorian? The one who is pouring the tea for us? Or the one in the picture?
Before either.
I should like to come to the theater with you, Lord Henry.
And you will come too, Basil, won't you?
I can't really. I have a ton of work to do.
Well then, you and I will go alone, Mr. Gray.
I should like that very much, Lord Henry.
I shall stay here with the real Dorian.
Is it the real Dorian? Am I really like that?
Yes, you are just like that. At least in appearance, but it will never alter. Don't go to the theater tonight, Dorian. Stop and dine with me.
I can't, Basil.
Why?
Because I'm going to the theater with Lord Henry.
I entreat you.
I really can't, Basil.
Come and see me tomorrow?
Certainly.
Never marry at all, Dorian.
I don't think I'm likely to marry, Harry. I'm too much in love. It's one of your sayings, isn't it? I'm putting it into practice, as I do with everything you say.
Who are you in love with?
With an actress.
That sounds rather commonplace, debut.
You would not say so if you saw her, Harry.
Who is she?
Her name is Sybil Vane.
Never heard of her.
No one has. People will someday, however.
How long have you known her?
Oh, about 3 weeks.
Where did you come across her?
It was the strangest thing, Harry. I will tell you, but you mustn't be unsympathetic about it.
One evening, I determined to go out in search of some adventure. About 8:30, I passed by an absurd little theater. I went in and paid a whole guinea for the stage box. To the present day, I can't make out why I did so, and yet if I hadn't, I should have missed the greatest romance of my life. Well, I found myself seated in a horrid little private box with a vulgar drop face staring me in the face. I began to wonder what on earth I should do when I caught sight of the playbill.
And what do you think the play was, Harry?
I should think the idiot boy or the dumb but innocent.
It was good enough for us, actually. It was Romeo and Juliet.
I must admit that I was rather annoyed at the idea of seeing Shakespeare done in such a wretched hole of a place. Still, I felt interested in a sort of way. At any rate, I determined to wait out the first act. There was a dreadful orchestra that nearly drove me away, but at last the drop scene was drawn up and the play began. And Juliet! She was the loveliest thing I had ever seen in my life, and her voice, I never heard such a voice. Your voice and the voice of Sybil Vane are two things I shall never forget. When I close my eyes, I hear them, and each of them says something different. I don't know which to follow.
Harry, I do love her. She is everything to me in life. Ordinary women never appeal to one's senses, but how different an actress is. Why didn't you tell me that the only person worth loving was an actress?
Of so many of them, there is an extraordinary charm in them, sometimes.
I wish now that I had not told you about Sybil Vane.
All through your life, you will tell me everything you do.
I cannot help telling you things. You have a curious influence over me. All through my life, I will tell you everything I do. If I had ever committed a crime, I think I would confess it to you. You would understand me.
People like you don't commit crimes, Dorian. Now tell me, what is your actual relationship with Sybil Vane?
Harry, Sybil Vane is sacred.
It is only the sacred things that are worth touching, Dorian. You know her, at any rate, I suppose.
Of course I know her. The third night, the old man took me behind to meet her. He would insist on calling me my lord, and I had to insist that I was nothing of the kind. And she simply said to me, "You seem more like a prince. I shall call you Prince Charming."
Upon my word, Dorian, Miss Sybil knows how to pay compliments.
Every night I go see her act, and every night she is more marvelous. I want you and Basil to come see her some night. I have not the slightest fear of the result.
Well, what night shall we go?
Let me see. Today's Tuesday. She plays Juliet tomorrow. Let's fix tomorrow.
Shall you see Basil from this and then, or shall I write to him?
Dear Basil, I have not laid eyes on him in a week. It is rather horrid of me, as he has sent me my portrait in the most wonderful frame, specifically designed by himself. And though I am jealous of it for being a whole month younger than I am, I delight in seeing it. And now I am off. Don't forget about tomorrow. Goodbye.
What could this possibly be? Mother, I am so happy, and you must be happy too.
Sybil, darling, I am only happy when I see you act. You must think of nothing but your acting. Mr. Isaac has been very good to us, and we owe him a lot of money.
He is not a gentleman, and I hate the way he talks to me. Prince Charming rules life now. I love him.
You foolish, foolish child!
Mother, did you love my father as much as I love Prince Charming?
Ugh.
Forgive me, Mother, but it only pains you to talk about our father because you loved him so much. Oh, don't look so sad. I am as happy today as you were 20 years ago.
My child, you are far too young to be thinking of falling in love. Besides, what do you know of this young man? You don't even know his name. The whole thing is most inconvenient. And really, when James is going to be away in Australia? However, as I did say before, if he is rich...
Mother, let me be happy. Oh, welcome home.
Would you like to go on a walk with me?
Oh, that would be so sweet to spend your last afternoon with me. Let's go to the park.
Only swell people go to the park.
Oh, nonsense, Jim.
Well, don't take too long getting dressed.
Okay.
Are my things ready yet, Mother?
Quite ready, James. I hope you will be contented with your seafaring life. It is by your own choice that you go.
You're right. I have chosen my own life. All I can say is, watch over Sybil. Don't let her come to any harm. I hear a gentleman comes to the theater every night and goes behind to talk to her.
We are accustomed to receive a great deal of gratifying attention. As for Sybil, I do not know at present whether her attachment is serious or not. But there is no doubt that the young man in question is a gentleman.
We don't even know his name.
It might be the most brilliant marriage for Sybil. They would be a charming couple, really. His good looks are quite remarkable, and everybody notices them.
It's to blame, it's to blame.
How serious you both are. What's the matter?
Come, Sybil, let's go for a walk.
You are not listening to a word I am saying, Jim. Do say something.
What do you want me to say?
Oh, that you will be a good boy and not forget us.
You're more likely to forget me than I am to forget you.
What do you mean, Jim?
You have a new friend, I hear. Who is he? Why have you not told me about him? He means you no good.
Oh, stop, Jim. You must not say anything against him. I love him.
He is a gentleman?
Yes, dear old Jim. You talk as if you were 100. Don't look so sulky. Surely you should be glad to think that, though you are going away, you leave me happier than I have ever been before.
For as sure there is a God in heaven, if he ever does any wrong to you, I shall kill him.
You are foolish, Jim. Utterly foolish. A bad-tempered boy, that is all. How can you say such horrible things?
I am 16. I know what life's about. Mother is no help. I wish I was not going to Australia now.
Oh, don't be so serious, Jim. I know you could never harm anyone I love. Would you?
Not as long as you love him, I suppose.
I shall love him forever.
And he?
Oh, forever too.
He had better.
I suppose you've heard the news, Basil.
Harry, what is it?
Dorian Gray is engaged to be married.
Are you serious?
Quite serious, Basil. I should be miserable if I thought I should ever be more serious than I am in the present moment.
Do you approve of it, Harry?
I never approve or disapprove of anything now. It is an absurd attitude to take towards life, but here is Dorian himself. He can tell you the rest.
My dear Harry, my dear Basil, you must both congratulate me. I have never been so happy in my entire life.
I hope you will always be very happy, Dorian. But I don't quite forgive you for not having let me know of your engagement, but you let Harry know.
And I don't forgive you for being late to dinner.
Harry, you are dreadful. I don't know why I like you so much.
You always will like me, Dorian. I represent to you all of the sins you're too afraid to commit.
What nonsense you talk, Harry. Let us go down to the theater. When you see Sybil on the stage, you will have a new ideal of life.
What a place to find one's divinity in.
Don't listen to him, Dorian. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I believe in this girl, though. I didn't think I was going to say it, but I really think the gods made you for each other.
Thanks, Basil. I knew you would understand me.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek. For that which thou hast heard me speak tonight, she is quite beautiful, Dorian, but she can't act. Please.
I'm so sorry that I've made you both waste the evening like this.
I think she's ill.
I wish she was ill. She is entirely altered. She is merely a commonplace actress.
Don't talk about anyone you love like that, Dorian.
She is beautiful. What more can you want?
Go away! Can't you both see that my heart is breaking?
How badly I acted tonight, Dorian.
You were dreadful. Are you ill?
You must have understood.
Understood what?
Why, I shall never act again.
You are ill, I suppose.
Dorian, before I knew you, it was only in theater that I lived. You freed my soul. You taught me what reality really is. I became conscious that the words I had to speak were not what I wanted to say. You have made me see that.
You have killed my love. Yes, you have killed my love. You used to stir my imagination. Now you barely stir my curiosity. How mad I was to love you.
You are not serious, Dorian. You are acting.
Acting? I leave that to you. You do it so well.
Dorian, I am so sorry. I didn't act well. Don't go away from me. My brother. No, never mind. He didn't mean it. But can't you live to forgive me for tonight? After all, it is only once that I have not pleased you.
I'm going. I don't wish to be unkind, but I cannot see you again.
Oh. I'm so sorry about it all, Dorian, but you mustn't think of it too much.
Do you mean about Sybil Vane?
Yes, of course. Did you see her after the play was over?
I was brutal, Harry. But it has taught me to know myself better.
Dorian, I'm so glad you took it that way. I was afraid to find you plunged in remorse.
I am perfectly happy now. I want to be good. I can't bear the thoughts of my soul being hideous.
How are you going to begin?
By marrying Sybil Vane.
Marrying Sybil Vane? Dorian, didn't you get my letter?
I have not read it yet.
You know nothing then.
No? What do you mean?
My letter. Don't be frightened. It was to tell you that Sybil Vane is dead.
Dead? Sybil dead? That's a horrible lie! How dare you say it?
It is quite true, Dorian. It is in all the morning papers. I've no doubt it was not an accident, though it must be put in a way to the public. They found her lying dead on the floor of her dressing room.
So I have murdered Sybil Vane. And yet, the roses are no less lovely for it. The birds still sing just as happily in my garden. And tonight I'm to dine with you, and then go to the opera, I suppose. There's the first passionate love letter I have ever written in my life. It was addressed to a dead girl. Oh, Harry, how I loved her once. It seems years ago to me now. And now she's dead.
Don't waste your tears over Sybil Vane. She was less real than all the heroines of romance are.
I think I shall join you at the opera, Harry.
Goodbye.
Dorian, I'm so glad I found you. I know that you must be suffering. Did you go talk to the girl's mother? What did she have to say about it all?
My dear Basil, how do I know? Don't talk about horrid subjects. If one doesn't talk about a thing, then it has never happened.
Dorian, that is horrible. Something has changed you completely. You look exactly like the same wonderful boy who day after day used to come down to my studio to sit for his picture. Now I don't know what's come over you. You talk as if you have no heart, no pity on you. It's all Harry's influence, I can see that.
I don't know what you mean, Basil. What do you want?
I want the Dorian that used to come down to my studio and I would paint.
Basil, you have come too late.
I won't speak to you again about this horrible thing after today, but you must come and sit to me yourself again.
I'm afraid I can never do that.
What do you mean? Like, what did I do to you? Where is it? Why'd you pull the screen in front of it like this?
Don't, Basil. If you touch this screen, I will never speak to you again. Everything will be over between us.
If you want to have a strange quarter of an hour, get Basil to tell you why he won't exhibit your picture. He told me why he wouldn't, and it was a revelation to me.
We have each of us a secret, Basil. Let me know yours, and I shall tell you mine. Why do you refuse to exhibit my picture?
Let's sit down, Dorian. Don't speak. Wait till you hear what I have to say. Dorian, from the moment I met you, your personality had the most extraordinary influence over me. When you were away from me, you were still present in my art. One day, it was a fatal day, I sometimes think I was determined to paint a wonderful portrait of you. As I worked at it, every flake and film of color seemed to reveal my secret. Well, after a few days, the thing left my studio, and it seemed I had been foolish in imagining that I had seen anything in it, and more than that, you were extremely good looking, and that I could paint. And so, when I got this offer from Paris, I was determined to make your portrait, the principal thing in my exhibition. It never occurred to me that you would refuse. I see now that you were right. The picture cannot be shown. You must not be angry with me, Dorian, for what I have told you.
My dear Basil, what have you told me? Simply that you admired me too much. That's not even a compliment.
You will sit to me again?
Impossible.
You spoiled my life as an artist by refusing, Dorian, and now, goodbye. I'm sorry you won't let me look at the picture once again, but that can't be helped. And now, my dear fellow, I want to speak to you seriously. Don't frown like that.
What is it about? I should hope it's not about myself. I'm tired of myself tonight. I should like to be somebody else.
It is about yourself, and I must say to you, I think it right that you should know the most dreadful things are being said against you in London.
I don't wish to know anything about them.
They must interest you, Dorian. Mind you, I don't believe these rumors at all. At least I can't believe them when I see you. Sin is a thing that writes itself across a man's face. It cannot be concealed. But why is it that so many gentlemen in London will neither invite you to your house, nor invite you to theirs?
Stop, Basil. You are talking about things of which you know nothing.
I must speak, and you must listen, Dorian. You don't know what it is being said about you. I wonder, do I know you? Before I answer that, I should have to see your soul.
To see my soul?
Yes, but only God can do that.
You shall see it yourself tonight. It is your own handiwork. Why shouldn't you see it? You have chattered enough about corruption. Now you shall look upon it face to face.
This is blasphemy, Dorian. You must not say things like that. My God, don't tell me that you are bad and corrupt and shameful.
Come downstairs, Basil. I keep a diary of my life written day to day, and it never leaves a room in which it is written. I shall show it to you tonight if you wish.
I shall come with you, Dorian, if you wish it. I see I have missed my train. I can go tomorrow. But don't ask me to read anything tonight. All I want is a plain answer to my question.
That shall be given to you downstairs. You will not have to read long. You insist on knowing, Basil?
Yes.
You are the one man in this world who is entitled to know everything about me. You have had more to do with my life than you know. Here we be.
What does this mean?
Years ago, when I was a boy, you taught me to be vain of my good looks. One day, you introduced me to a friend of yours who explained to me the wonder of youth, and you finished the portrait of me that has revealed to me the wonder of beauty. In the mad moment that, even now, I don't know whether I regret or not, I made a wish. Perhaps you would call it a prayer.
I remember it. No, The thing is impossible. The room is damp. Mildew got into the canvas. The paints I used had some wretched mineral in them, or you told me you destroyed it.
I was wrong. It has destroyed me.
There was nothing evil in it. This is the face of a satyr.
It is the face of my soul.
If it is true, you must be worse than those who talk against you.
Alan, this is kind of you to come.
I never wanted to step foot in this house again, but you said it was a matter of life and death.
It is, and to more than one person. Let's sit. Alan, in a locked room in this house, a dead man sits at a table, and I must ask you, you are scientific. You have to destroy this body.
Oh, stop, Dorian. I decline to get mixed up in anything in your life.
Alan, please, I'm begging you.
You are mad, Dorian.
Alan, I didn't want to have to do this, but you leave me no choice. I have a letter written already. If you refuse to help me, I will have to send it. You know the result.
Okay, fine. Fine. If that's how it must be.
Is there anything you need? I'll have a servant go get it for you.
Yes. I'll need...
You just write it down.
Okay.
I thank you, Alan. You've saved me from ruin.
Anytime, Dorian. But never ask me again to do anything else for you.
You hear, Adrian?
Where else would I be?
I'm going to the other place.
We are very proud tonight.
For God's sake, don't talk to me. What do you want? Money? Here it is. Have it. Don't ever talk to me again.
There goes the devil's bargain.
Curse you. Don't call me that.
Prince Charming is what you like to be called, ain't it?
Stop. What do you want?
You move, I will stab you.
No. What have I ever done to you?
You killed Sylvain, and Sylvain was my sister.
Stop. How long ago did your sister die?
18 years ago.
18 years. Set me under that lamp and look at my face.
My God, and I would have killed you.
Take this as a lesson, not to put vengeance into your own hands.
You should have killed that man. He has lots of money, and he's as bad can be.
The man I'm looking for is just over 40. That man was little more than a boy.
Little more than a boy. It was 18 years ago that Prince Charming made me what I am today.
You lie.
Strike me dumb if it ain't so. They say he sold his soul to the devil for a pretty face. Don't call me out to him, though.
My God.
Is the man...
I'm afraid so. Really, it was his own fault. Why did he get in front of the car?